So sometimes when you use technology to make a histogram, it's easy to play with the bin widths, like so. So here's some data for uh, the age of people 65 and older in various states in the United States of America. And within this table, I'm going to be peeling out that data there. From those two columns, I'm going to put it into an Excel spreadsheet and make a histogram. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my data analysis tool by selecting data. And over on the right hand side, I'm going to select data analysis. And I'm going to look at histograms. Now here's my data analysis tool. I want to select my input range. Starting at the top of my column, on that cell, click my mouse button. I'm going to select all the data in this column. So there. Here's my input range. And I have to do my bin range. Well, I'm going to make up my bins. So say my bin width. So these numbers are populations of people in various states within the United States who are over age 65, and the numbers are actually times 1,000. So the number in column A1 is actually 656,000. I am going to go in increments of 500,000. So that means I'm going to start with the following for my bins. I'm going to enter them in now. All right, so what I've done is I set my bins up in increments of 500,000. So I'm sorting the data. The software will sort the data in column A into different bins. The first bin is any state which has a population of seniors, greater than 65 years old, from 0 up to 500,000 will go into the first bin because it goes up to 500,000. The next bin between 500 and 1,000, well, 1,000 really represents 1 million because it's times 1,000. So the next bin down, the one that says 1,000, really represents 1 million. So any state which has seniors, age 65 or over, where the population is between 500,000 and 1 million, will be sorted into the next bin, the bin that's labeled 1,000, and so on. So what I'm going to now do is I'm going to use my data analysis tool to make a histogram. So I select histogram from the analysis tools, select OK. So now I want to choose my data range for the input, which is all of the population data of the states, population in thousands of people aged 65 or over. And now I'm going to select my bin range. So my bin range, starts from 500 and goes down to 5,000. All right, so I'm going to create a new worksheet, and I'm going to make a chart. Here we go. Let's take a look at it. And there's the histogram. So you can see the shape. The highest frequency, somewhere, it looks about 23 states have populations of seniors where the population is 500,000 or less. Well, less than 500,000, I should say. If we have 23 states with a population less than 500,000, that's the largest bar on the left-hand side. And then there's a number of states that have populations of seniors between 500,000 and 999,000. And that's those states are being sorted into the second bin. It seems there's around 18 states. So with having fairly coarse bins, we get a picture that we can look at, and we can make some interpretations. There's one state, or maybe two states, that have at least 4.5 million seniors living there. So Oh, 100,000? Yeah, that's probably the sun states I'm imagining, some places like Florida or Arizona. Now, what happens is by selecting our bin width of, groups of like bins of 500,000, we can actually build up data in the histogram so that we can see the frequency more clearly. But watch what happens if I change my bin width to 1,000 from 500,000. So in other words, I'm going to try to sort all the states into bins of 1,000. So what that means is there might be a state that has a senior population of, well, let's take a look. Sheet 1. Well, here's a state, 55,000. Here's a state, 69,000. Those are going to be in different bins because the bin width is only 1,000. Remember, these numbers are multiplied by 1,000. Here are two states. They both have the same number, 195,000. So they would end up in the same bin. We're not going to get a lot of resolution out of this. Here, let me go ahead and change my bin width. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going up in increments of 1,000. So originally I was going in increments of 500,000. So I'm going to start with a 1. The next cell down, I'm going to go, okay, equals, well, the cell above it, plus 1. Okay, and now I'm going to copy that formula down. But as I copy it down, 5,000 cells. There, I've got 5,000 bins of width 1,000 each for a total of, it can hold a total of 5 million people. So I've generated, 5,000 bins of 1,000 seniors each. So the 5,000 bins can accommodate a total of 5 million seniors. And so now what I'm going to do is I am going to make a histogram using 5,000 bins, where the bin width is 1,000. So yes, I'm going to select histogram. I'm going to select my input range. So starting in A, drag down, and I select all of the data. There we go, done. And now I'm going to select the bin range. Well, there's an awful lot of them. So let's see how this works. See if my finger doesn't get tired. Here we go, starting in D1, and I'm going to go all the way down. 2,500. 500. 1,000 bins. Right, 2,500 bins. Now I'm going to make the histogram. There it is. Ooh, and look at that. Turns out that when you have lots and lots of bins, you get so much resolution that you don't really have any meaning to your histogram. Look at the scale. There's so many bins that the different states are, there's one bin for each state, basically. Some states have 2 bins. And the histogram really doesn't give you any meaningful information. But when you have more information in each bin, you get a histogram that can show you a trend.